being a teenage mom and trying to make your way through college, and I was working in banking, like I said at the time, and being exposed to dinners with the president of the bank. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And so I've taken a lot of my experience, and that's what I do in my business. I teach dining etiquette. I teach business etiquette. I teach people the rules of engagement because everyone belongs. And it's about feeling comfortable being in the company with people so you can really get down to the business of being your authentic self, right? But when we're worried about, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I grabbing the right fork or whatever the case may be? It inhibits your ability to be amazing. And so I teach people the rules of engagement so they can just be their amazing self.
During that time in my late 40s, I became a person that I didn't care to be around, and therefore I knew nobody else did as well. There's more to life than this, and I deserve better than this. I just became in pursuit of things that were helpful to me, to make me a better person, to make me a better mom, a better wife, a better just human. And so the EFT helped. And then I found coaching, and I went to school for that, got my certification in that, and that was powerful for me. And I've always been a teacher, trainer, I guess, coach at heart. And so not only do I like to learn these things for myself, I love to share them. Ultimately being able to share, like, there is more to life than this. I talk about burnout, blocks, and bullshit. Like, we all have it, and there's ways to get through it.
My guests today are Shelley Davis Boyd and Amy C. Mollitor. Shelley is a C-suite executive, certified executive coach, certified EQI 2.0 practitioner, and speaker. She is deeply passionate about learning and personal growth, which has led her through an enriching academic and professional development path. She holds an MBA, a CAE, CLC, certification in credit union management, specialized training as a business image coach, and as a certified Athena International leadership facilitator. Her career is a testament to her unwavering commitment to empowering individuals to unlock their full potential. Shelley strives to inspire transformation and growth through coaching, speaking engagements, and comprehensive training sessions. At the core of her methodology is a profound belief in the power of emotional intelligence as a cornerstone for personal and professional development. Amy C. Mollitor is a certified professional life coach, EFT master practitioner, author, trainer, and speaker. She has a unique talent for combining authenticity, active listening, inspiration, and accountability in her work. Her mission is to support and empower women. She authored the Self-Love Journal for Wildly Creative Women, a resource designed to remind women of their inherent strength and brilliance. Through their Wild Her Wisdom podcast, Shelley and Amy explore themes of empowerment, emotional intelligence, self-care, and personal growth, offering listeners insights and strategies to enhance their journey towards self-discovery and empowerment. Get ready for the wildly inspiring duo of Shelley Davis Boyd and Amy C. Mollitor, right here on Soulgasm with Polo Tate. Amy Mollitor and Shelley Davis Boyd, welcome to Soulgasm.
Hello.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here. I'm speaking for Amy and me. We're so excited to be here.
So excited.
Now, will you be doing that the entire podcast? Because if so, I will adjust my camera.
Yeah, no. She can.
Amy has a wealth of knowledge to share, so I'm gonna be quiet and hear from her from time to time.
Yes. I love this because both of you have a wealth of wisdom to share, which brings us to the whole point of this podcast is really how to explore how to live an all-in, all-win life, whatever that means to you. We are in this life experience. We might as well make the most of it. Let's do more and feel more and have more and be more in the full expression of our true selves. And you guys exemplify that so well. And I cannot wait to get into the details of how that came to be, what's going on in your lives now, and everything in between.
Yay. Awesome.
Yay. My first question to you always is, what is your passion and what truly lights you up? Feel free. Whoever wants to answer that first or is inspired by, you can answer it separately together. What really lights you up?
Oh my gosh. I love everything. I love life. I love everything about life. I want to eat it up. I have 3 kids. They're amazing. They spending time with them. They're great humans. They're 16, 19, and 30, 31. They're great humans. And so, like, I'm passionate about being a mom. I've been a mom since I was 19 years old. But then I have all these other things I do. I garden, I roller skate, like whatever it is. I love life. It's freaking amazing.
Oh my God. But were you always that way? Because I have known you as this beautiful, badass force of nature since the moment I met you. And I would imagine, like, when you were a little one, you might have been the same way.
Yes. Yes. Just I love to try things. I love to do things. I'll go roller skating by myself because I can't get people to go with me. I'm 51. There's not a big roller skating contingent at my age. But
What?
I'm like, "Yeah, I know what." But I just love to experience life. So if I was most passionate about anything, it's gosh, doing the damn thing every day.
Yeah, she's very inspiring in that sense. She does every from the moment. So we're both early birds. We've talked about this, and um, we are alike in this way. We love to get up early in the day and just like start the day and get going. Try to go to bed. She's better at going to bed at a decent time than I am. I try to go to bed at a decent time so that I get the sleep as well. But we're both just super passionate about getting up early, starting the day, focusing with whatever that might be, like a mindset or just getting into that mode of being able to tackle on anything. Right. So, and I feel like I tackle on a lot as well, but she's super inspiring for some of the things that she does and just like takes it all in. You are my love. um we're also alike in the fact that family lights us up. I have 4 kids. We're a blended family, and I have 4 kids, 2 adults, 2 teenagers, and I also have 2 grandchildren. And so we have kids from every age around us all the time. And having them and watching them grow is just amazing, just seeing all of their journeys, right? From now we got the grandkids, and that's just another stage of life. We could do a whole nother podcast about that. But something that just is I'm super passionate about because it's personal to me, and it just is something that I feel like as I'm gifted to share is supporting and uplifting and empowering other women. I just don't think we can get enough of that. And, there's all sorts of ways to do that. I think all of us here do that in some form or another and have for probably the majority of our lives. And I think that it cannot be understated the need for that. And the way that we do that is with sharing our personal journeys and our stories and our struggles. And I do that because nobody's perfect and everybody has bullshit and
What?
everybody
Right.
has
I don't
stories. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Everybody has stories that they tell themselves, and everybody has times when they compare themselves to others and feel down. And, I just think the more that we can share that authentic story and journey and tools that maybe we've learned along the way, the better that we can be, and the better that we can support other women in being, to be able to live life and love life every minute of every day, like Shelley does.
I love this because we all met in sort of a transformational space,
Yeah.
really enlightened leadership space,
Yep.
women's leadership space, and
Mhm.
for all of us to have come to that point to really, as you said, want to uplift and empower women, for us to be in pursuit of what it takes to be able to offer those tools.
Yeah.
Usually there is a reason why we have sought them ourselves, right? Usually there is a reason why we are looking in some form of bag of tricks to grapple our way to the top of
Mhm.
something that we've fallen into the rock bottom of. So if
Yeah.
if either of you would be willing to share uh, your sort of your origin story in terms of the pursuit of not only empowerment or women's empowerment, but healing,
Mm.
self-care. What was the turning point? What was your scariest moment? If you would be willing to, in your life, if you would be willing to sort of walk us through the origin story of why transformation is so important to you.
Mm-hmm. You want to take it first, Shell?
Oh, sure. For me, and
Take it away.
I already alluded to this. I was a teenage mom. So I had my first child when I was 19 and, wasn't in college at the time. And really, like, I remember my stepdad came to me with this job opportunity, which is a great job opportunity, but it wasn't what my vision for my life. And so I was just kind of going through life trying to figure out single mom, taking care of this child. And when he came to me with this job opportunity, I thought, oh my gosh, is that what people think my life is? Like, is that my life? Like, that's not my life. I have so much to offer. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I, made my decision, like, I'm going to college. I'm pursuing a career, like I have more to offer than being, the stereotype of what they think is, going to be of a teenage mom. And so I always joke my oldest son has more college had more college experience under his belt by the age of 5 than many adults I know, because I literally worked full time and I took him to school at night and on the weekends with me. So he'd sit in macroeconomic classes with his coloring books and his snacks, and I made it in and out of college in 4 years because it was a moment of realization to me, like, you're the only one that can do this. You're the only one that can do this. And so it was really tough, but it was what I needed to do.
That when you said that moment of like, wait, is this who I am?
Mhm.
I, I
Right.
felt that to the core of my being. And it's in those moments of like, somebody, you see the
Right.
perception of your identity sort of reflected back to you. And you're like, oh shit, is this how I'm
Right.
being perceived? What was the feeling in that moment? Because oh, that moment was a gift to you. You chose to make
Mhm.
it a gift to you. What did it feel like, if you can put any words around that?
Um, it was definitely an aha, oh shit moment. Like, this is the path you're going down. If you don't get your shit together, gal, like, you need to do something. And it felt scary in some ways, empowering in other ways. And it was just a huge wake up call. Like, oh, the time is now. The time is now to do something with yourself. Like, all these visions that you have in your head are not coming to reality right now.
There is nothing like an oh shit moment to, we'll say, inspire,
Yes,
inspire
yes, yeah. Hmm.
change and sort of light that fire. And I had to give you so like all the kudos in the world, because the force of nature that you are has been there the whole time. And it's almost as if your booster rockets were like were ignited in that moment.
Right. Hmm.
Because like your treadmill under your desk, which for the audience aside, she is not walking on right now, but usually she is, there was no looking back. There was no looking
No.
back for you. Did you have any baubles? Like, did you get any pivotal advice? Did you seek any outside input or information to help
Mhm.
you work a full-time job, go to college at night? I mean, those moments could not have been easy. What pushed you through those messy moments and the doubt?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I have a stepmom who is brilliant, educated, has had a fantastic career. And she's always been very supportive of me. She was what I saw in my, like, oh, I want to be a strong businesswoman. I want to do this. And so she was always very supportive of me. When I was in banking at the time, when I got promoted to be a branch manager, she'd send me cards and balloons and all of these things, talk about, when she was getting her master's degree and was 9 months pregnant, and things like that. So I knew it was doable. And then I was fortunate just to work around great women who were always supportive of me and always, just helping me see that there was something bigger and better out there. Being a teenage mom and trying to make your way through college, and I was working in banking, like I said at the time, and being exposed to dinners with the president of the bank. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. Like, what am I supposed to, I didn't even know which fork to use. But I had a great mentor and my boss at the time. And so I've taken a lot of my experience, and that's what I do in my business. I teach dining etiquette. I teach business etiquette. I teach people the rules of engagement because everyone belongs. And it's about feeling comfortable being in the company with people so you can really get down to the business of being your authentic self, right? But when we're worried about, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I grabbing the right fork or whatever the case may be? It inhibits your ability to be amazing. And so I teach people the rules of engagement so they can just be their amazing self.
Oh my God, if that's not a metaphor for this whole life experience, I don't know what is, in terms of like getting just sort of the logistics of being human and connecting, and the rules of engagement for life, getting them in your bones so deeply that now you can just be open and agile to, oh my gosh, I love that. Ah, thank you for being willing to share, because it's, first of all, incredibly important. You talk about the fact that celebration, somebody, an outside, women around you and mentors and idols celebrated your little successes. And that is so huge. That is so
Mhm.
huge. And both of you are amazing at that for others, taking a moment and acknowledging it and celebrating the, not just the accomplishment, but the ability to be authentic in what you're doing. I've been on the receiving end of both of you celebrating those little moments that mean so much. And
Mhm.
I'm so appreciative that you were willing to bring that to light. And Amy, I know that you have stories um, about your relationship, not only with the workforce, but about coming into your own and making some pivotal decisions in your life to really follow your dreams and pursuit of what lights you up. Tell us a little bit, if you are willing to, about your origin story.
Yeah, so my story is probably a little bit more recent, although I can go back years as far as like you talked about the healing journey and exploring all of that. I think we're all maybe on that journey to some extent or another, learning and healing from whatever might have been our original origin story. But the pivotal one for me is more recent, in my late 40s, and I'm only 52. I came to a point where I just felt very unhappy in my life. I felt very unhappy in my job, and I felt like I was carrying that home. And I just kind of had that moment of like, sort of, Shelley's like, is this my life? Like there's more to life than this. Like, I want to feel joy again. I want to be happy. I have a lot of life to live. I have a lot of kids around me that, I still want to enjoy, and generations. And it's like, this is just this, there's more. There's just more to this. And so I'm like, my background is psychology. That's what my education is in. I worked full time. I got that degree. It took me 8 years because I got married and had a kid the first time. So it took me a minute to get that. But then I went and got the job. I never went back to get anything master's level on that psychology piece. And so I thought, during that time in my late 40s, I became a person that I didn't care to be around. And therefore I knew nobody else did as well. And I thought, there's more to life than this, and I deserve better than this. And so I requested some changes in my corporate job at the time to make that better for me because I earned it. And that was step one. Step two was deciding what I wanted to do to help myself personally outside of any sort of, I keep going back to job because it's not a career job. And I, going back to get a master's in social work, because I already had the bachelor's, just didn't feel right. And so I learned a few other tools that kind of helped me through the day. One of them is EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, or tapping. So I learned that, and I would be like tapping and driving to work at the same time to kind of help calm my body and my brain and get me into a space where I could be okay to be around. And then I do it when I came home, so I would be okay to be around. And
Staging and
yeah, yeah,
all the
exactly.
ghosts of the job. I get it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just became in pursuit of things that were helpful to me, to make me a better person, to make me a better mom, a better wife, a better just human. And so the EFT helped. And then I found coaching and I went to school for that and got my certification in that. And that was powerful for me. And then I found another women's leadership program that was super powerful, and mentors and friends. And, it's became a journey where not only am I helping myself, but like I mentioned earlier, being able to show what this journey has been like for me and just being authentic, that it's not done by any stretch of the imagination.
What?
And I know
Shit balls.
there's bullshit. But I've always been a teacher, trainer, I guess, coach at heart. And so not only do I like to learn these things for myself, I love to share them. And so that's part of what I do as a coach, is share some of these tools and these tips and these tricks. And, ultimately being able to share, like, there is more to life than this. I talk about burnout, blocks, and bullshit. Like, we all have it, and there's ways to get through it. It's a journey. It's not a destination, but that's kind of where it really started most recently for me, was just not that long ago. Like, there's having that pivotal moment of like, there's more to life than this. There's just more to life than this.
Ugh, I love that moment, and I love you bringing it to light. And both of you were aware enough of the fact that at whatever age this sort of pursuit and journey started for you, even though you sense like, I don't feel like I am living the life that I know that I'm meant to live, that I want to live, I want to make a change. But what you didn't let trip you up was, I need to jump full stop and I'm going to go all in, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go all in. Both of you like kept your job and then just started nourishing yourself on the side. And I've watched you two do that, even with full-time careers, a full house and family. And it's so inspiring because it shows us and our beautiful audience that this can happen at any age, no matter what is going on in your life. There is room for you to make yourself a priority, set some boundaries, block off your calendar, and start to just feed yourself on the side and nourish your spirit on the side. Were there any times, because I know we've talked about this at several points before, were there any times where your feeling of worth or deservability, or that sort of, we'll say, monster rears its ugly head and you're like, no, I should prioritize this over that? And what do you do in those moments?
Yeah. I'll just say, yeah, like it happens at sometimes when I don't even expect it. Like, I feel like I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I'm not. I can't do this. I need to stay in the comfort zone. I can't reach out and do something outside of what's consistent and comfortable and normal, and just like step out there and be open to judgment, and yes, there is a lot of times that come through it. And what I do is, I sometimes counterproductive for what I would instinctually do, which would be to retreat. I reach out and I share and I connect and I ask for support. And I go and I do the damn thing. So recently I had one of those times, and I was set to go to a networking event with other female entrepreneurs. And that was the last thing I wanted to do, the last thing I felt comfortable doing. But I did. I just did the damn thing. And it was great. And I put myself out there, and I, it's the lies and the stories that I was referring to earlier, like telling yourself like, no, you can't, you shouldn't. I just fucking did the damn thing. And it was worth it. It was just worth it to do that, to show myself that I could do it. And of course I made some amazing connections as well. So, do the damn thing.
Mhm.
How do you ask for help? Like, what pushes you over the edge in terms of like, I'm just gonna do the damn thing. Like,
Mhm.
how do you make that decision? Because we all have had those moments where all we want to do is duck and cover.
Mhm.
All we want to
Mhm.
do is just retreat and put that shell of protection up and isolation up and just sort of, like suck our
Yeah.
thumb in the corner, isolated.
There's
What
not, there's a few people that are in my trusted corner, and I've recently looked to try to expand those trusted corners because I can be that person that just retreats. And so I would say probably about 2, 3 months ago, I had a time where I call it in the middle of a shame storm. And I reached out to a new trusted friend and I just made myself vulnerable to say, this is where I'm at and I really need some support. And we hadn't been friends for too long, but I just felt like she could be somebody I could do that with. And immediately her text was, "You got it. I'm in. Call me." And so it was again just jumping to put myself out there to be vulnerable so that I could get support. It's not always easy.
Not easy at all.
Mm-mm.
What are your go-tos, Shelley, with any moments of doubt? Do you have any moments of doubt?
Well, yes, I am a human being. I gotta tell you, it gets easier the older you get. You get in your 50s, I don't give a fuck, to be perfectly honest with you.
Fuck it
But
50s. That's what I called
yeah,
it.
it's like, you know what? Who cares? I do have moments of doubt, but I have this Davis gene. Davis is my family name. And I am like just, a dog with a bone. Like if I start something, I finish it. Full stop. I will read a book that I hate because I picked it up and I started it. I will finish a Netflix series even if I don't like it. Like I finish stuff. Like if I've committed to it, I'm doing it. And it's ingrained in me. So even in moments of doubt, it's like, sorry, Toots, you decided to do this. Now we're going to do the damn thing. So, and I have friends and, stuff that I can lean on. Amy and I, we have our podcast together. We're close and we chat about things. But really for me, I can't, I can't let myself down in that way.
Were you literally always like that?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that engine, that mechanism, serves you so well. And I would imagine maybe it serves you until it doesn't at times in terms of like
Right. Right.
in terms of
When I,
like,
when I, when I run a half marathon that I didn't train for. Yes, I've done that. Yes. When I do a triathlon that I didn't train for. Yes, I've done that. But guess what? I made the commitment. I finished.
Mhm.
oh my God, I love you so much. That is brilliant. And I believe what the last post that I saw of yours was a 7-year-old girl in Crocs
Yes,
laughing you in one of those.
I got smoked by a 7-year-old in Crocs in my 5K last weekend. But guess
Mhm.
what? We got the same medal.
Yep.
oh my God, amazing. Yes.
And just for the record, her Crocs were in sport mode. They weren't in clog mode. She had the back on them.
You have to tell yourself you still got the same medal.
Yep.
That's that's amazing. And I think it's so important that I had a moment the other day where I was going through something extremely emotional. And for full disclosure, I can't believe actually I'm going to say this to you, but I am um I am in the process of wanting to have a baby. And it's a huge,
Yay!
huge thing,
Yay!
obviously. Thank you
Yeah.
for celebrating that. And, I'm single at the moment.
Mhm.
So it's a process, but whatever.
Mhm.
And I was having a wicked emotional day. And like you said, Amy and Shelley, you have a few people in your corner who you can call and or who you can send out the bat signal to and ask, like, I need to be reminded of who I am. I'm in the weeds right now with just emotionally, like, please just remind me of who I am. And this beautiful friend of mine, like yours, Amy, texted me back and said, absolutely, and called me right then. And it's those moments where you choose, you just do the damn thing because you've committed to yourself. I'm not going to retreat this time. I want to change. I want to transform. I'm worthy of change. We're worthy of inviting ourselves to have a different experience because it feels shitty the last time I just retreated and tried to do this on my own. Right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
so that like impetus to push you over the edge to just pick up the phone and dial and be like, I don't even know what to say right now, but I'm floundering.
Yep.
And having somebody on the other end be like, listen, you are a magical creator. You know, like you are creating this life is yours. All of those beautiful things that you both counsel people in and coach people in, like it is probably the most important backup system that we have, you know?
The commitment to yourself is the most important commitment that you can make, you know, and for me, particularly again, I'm 51, these things get easier. Um, Letting myself down is a non-starter for me. It's non-negotiable. I'm not going to let myself down. I'm not going to do it. I've done it in my past. I'm not going to do it because I know how it feels and it doesn't serve me. I cannot put other people's perceptions of what I should be doing. You know, they're judge like I can't put that in front of myself. And so I commit to myself each and every day because me committing to myself first allows me to commit to all of the other people in my world, whether personal or professional or what have you. I can't make a commitment to them if I'm not committed to myself.
Which is so incredibly inspiring. It just in and of itself, you can just do a mic drop right there. Right.
Yeah.
And then I would add to that because we can all relate and soon you will personally as well. For me, it's showing an example to my daughters and my granddaughter and my sons too. I have 2 sons, 2 daughters, 1 grandson, 1 granddaughter. So I've got, you know, all of it, but showing the example to my daughters that 1, it's never too late. 2, you are worth it. And you're going to stumble, but you can make it. And that's been hugely powerful for me to be able to share that journey and that exposure to my daughters. I mean, my oldest daughter is 32 and she's a mom herself, you know, and of a daughter, but just to be able to share that journey of trials and tribulations with them. My other daughter's a teenager. That's important to me too, to show them as a woman that it's never too late and you can do it. I mean, I had a powerhouse of a mom who has never really believed that of herself. And that's hard to teach when you get to a certain point in your life, you know, and she's in her 70s, but she is. And I wish she would believe it of herself the way that I see her. And I want to believe that more of myself and show that to my daughters and my granddaughter, but then also show them that I'm not perfect and there's a way to do it. There's a way to still push forward and have a beautiful life and go all in.
I mean, how boring would life be if you didn't have trials and tribulations? You'd appreciate nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
If you don't know what you don't want, then you don't know what you do want.
Right.
You know? So,
Plus, it would just be this, you know, sort of one note instead of the symphony that it is when experiencing these, you know, ecstatic highs, sometimes devastating lows. We can maybe get rid of all of the devastating lows. We didn't have to have so much, so many. But I love what you're describing to me. In my own head, what bubbled up was inviting your daughters and your children into the process, into your process. Like, how much of that do you do at walking the tightrope of motherhood, wanting them to know that you have got their back,
You have got, things under control. You're rock steady in terms of like offering comfort and guidance. And also you're human. Talk to us about the tightrope, if you wouldn't mind, of that.
So I had a very honest conversation with my girls when I was going through my pivotal moments, I guess, late 40s, several years ago, was, obviously I'm really struggling right now. It's a really difficult time, but I'm going to figure this out. And I would tell them along the way, this is what I'm doing. This is the conversation that I had at work. And this is why I said it. This is what I'm going to pursue to learn and why, and share the journey of that certification program that I went through. But being honest and raw about my lows, because I had a lot of lows, and what I've done, the small steps that I've taken to kind of get through that, and what those were along the way. So it was not always, I wouldn't say easy, because at the time my 16-year-old was fairly young. But to talk in language that was not too adult for her, but where she could understand that, as a woman, as a female, like this is a struggle I'm having, and this is how I'm getting through it, and this is what I'm doing about it, in ways that she could understand. So being honest, but yeah, I tempered it to a certain extent, but I didn't hide that I was struggling either.
What about you, Shelley? Are you open about the process?
Yeah, I'm not great about that, to be honest with you. That's probably one of my parenting shortcomings. Because you take your, or something I'd like to do better. You take your childhood, right, and you learn your lessons from it, and then it forms who you are in some ways as an adult. And I didn't feel very protected as a child. I felt very, much that I had to take care of myself.
Yeah.
That that's just the way that I felt growing up. And so I am the flip side. I'm very protective of my kids. And so I have a really clear line about what I share and what I don't share with them. And as they get older, when we're having more adult conversations, it's like, well, I wish I would have known that. I wish you would have, like, you're the strongest person I know. No, I'm not. I'm a mess sometimes. Or, Amy said to me recently, oh, you're always so put together. Shit, I have my shirt on backwards at least 3 times a week. Seriously. Or inside out, or both. And so I'm just not really good about sharing that, because I never had that sense of protection. So I'm like over the top with my kids. And so I'm realizing now, as they get older, that there are things that I do want to share with them, to give them more insight into my life, because they see me in a way different than who I think I really am at the core. I'm not the strongest person, I may be one of the most determined, bullheaded people, but you know what I mean? And like, yeah, I've had failures, but like, I can't wallow in it. I got to move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to happen. And so that's something that, as my kids are older, that I'm trying to be more open to my life and kind of what it's taken to get me here, but it's not super ingrained in me.
How does it feel?
Part of why I did what I did, because it was so recent, was also in sharing the way that I shared, because I was not a very nice person to be around. I was not very fun. I was not coming across as very strong or put together or happy or anything. And so that was part of the choice for me to share, like, I'm sorry that I'm not the best version of myself right now. I'm not the best mom for you. I'm not the best wife for you. And so part of it was just acknowledging that I was not able to put up that persona it is part of me 100%, but it was not part of me every day at that point in my life.
And this life is a continuum, right? Both of you have said and really, declare in your work that it's not a one and done. This is a continuum. This is,
Right.
dear God, we are constantly evolving. We're constantly learning. We're constantly growing. And from that space, there's no wrong way to do this. It's whatever you're inspired to however you're inspired to take action from a place of authenticity, whether that means I'm going to start sharing kernels of the process with my kids because now they're at an age where they're curious and I feel safe enough to, have these conversations without having them worry that and then making me worry that I don't have this. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
or I am at a point in my life where I am not the person that I want to be, even to
Yep.
myself. Like we've all had those
Yeah.
moments where you're like, oh my God, I am annoying the ever living shite out of myself.
Yep.
Something has
Absolutely.
to change. Like,
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
so how has opening yourself, your children up to your process changed your relationship with them and your relationships with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's definitely given my kids a different perspective, and they see me more, I think, human
Mhm.
than, like I think that my kids had a sense that everything was really easy for me, and it certainly has not been the story of my life. Um, but I've never wanted my kids to worry. I've never wanted my kids to be concerned about, whatever may or may not have been going on in the adult world that I was living. So I think it's given us a different perspective, a different view of me, and I think it's made them feel safer to talk to me about things as they need to or would like to. So it's definitely been an evolution that I'm enjoying.
I
Mm.
I could say that it's grown more into that friendship level with my daughters and my sons as well. But especially with the girls, just I mean, my oldest is an adult and a mom, but even with the 16-year-old, just having more of that friendship level to be honest, to share as a woman, this is a journey, this is a process, and you're gonna struggle, but there's ways to get through it, and it's not the end of the world. Um, and it's just it's not always an easy conversation. It's not always comfortable, but and of course you have to have that level of like ultimately I am your mom. There is a line, but just to have a little bit more of a that authentic sort of friendship level conversation so that they know as they are either becoming adults or struggling as a mom, a parent, that this is it's an evolution and it's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's not
Your
always
mom
gonna
is about to be emotional now. Go to your room.
be
Seriously. I think that takes tremendous courage, and it takes courage from both sides. It takes courage
Mhm.
to tap into your inner child, and it also
Mhm.
takes courage to understand that you are a parent yourself. Like
Mhm.
that's why I say I liken it to a tightrope because I am sure in moments of vulnerability there is there are only so many times where you feel safe enough to sink into that without being pulled back out by motherhood and guidance and it being responsible for another life. And as I embark upon this journey, I look to you two beautiful badasses to really show me what is possible. And I so appreciate it. I so appreciate you being willing to open your hearts in that way.
We're here.
Oh,
We're
yes,
here,
yes, yes.
100%.
Good, because I will show up at your door and be like, how do I what that crap am I?
What do
What
I
the
do with this baby?
What is this thing? I don't know. Where's the book? There's no book.
how do I not hurt it? And you're gonna be like, they're gonna end up on a therapist's couch in 30 years, regardless. So
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
so from where you are like right now in your lives, what would you say is your biggest regret?
Hmm.
I don't do regret.
I knew she was
I
going to say
don't.
that.
I don't do it. I don't. It doesn't serve me. Everything that I've done, whether I was proud, there's things I'm not proud of, right, that I've done in my life, but it's all gotten me where I am. So, you can't start, moving things around and think you're going to end up in the same place. So I really try to look at life as a learning opportunity, You know, some things, God, that was a tough lesson, but you know, here I am. I'm going to
Mhm.
persevere. And I really try in my life to not judge people by their worst mistakes.
Yeah.
And so I don't do regret.
I would say I don't know if I would use the word regret, but I would say that I wish I would have done things sooner, made jumps sooner, got into the healing journey sooner, and not let myself be overtaken by others' opinions, judgments, my own lack of self-worth, or uh or gusto, I guess. So being trapped by the overthinking really is has been a thing for me. So I guess in the form of regret is not jumping and doing things sooner.
Do you jump now easier? More easily?
Easier. Easier, not easily. Easier. Because again, like Shelley referenced, it does come with age. There is such a thing that you just get to a certain point where you don't care as much. Yep. Yep. The
Exactly.
bucket 50s. That's what I said when I turned 50. And
Mhm.
you know, it doesn't take away everything. At least it hasn't for me, but I would say it does definitely get easier. 100%.
May we talk about age for a moment? Because it
Sure.
seems to be in my orb right now, just in terms of, just in terms of pursuing having a child. And
Yeah.
I'm curious what your thoughts are around age. What your thoughts are around mortality, around, the sort of chronology, like where you are right now. How do you feel about age? What is your relationship with age?
I love being the age that I am. Absolutely love being the age that I am. And I have no intention of leaving this earthly body anytime soon. I have got a lot more to do, a lot more life to live and experience. And I don't fear. I don't fear death. I've had enough experience in my life where I don't fear it. It's more of a curiosity, actually, if I'm being kind of morbidly honest. But I love the age that I'm at, and I feel physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally the healthiest I've ever been, and I'll probably say that tomorrow as well.
Mhm.
It's just I feel fantastic, and I love where I'm at, and I love where I'm going. There's so much
Mhm.
ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I love my age. I'm still the same goofy ass person who loves fart jokes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I haven't matured. I've gotten older.
Awesome.
Um, I,
Gives me
you know,
hope. It gives me
I,
hope.
you know, I'm physically active like Amy. I love to move my body. I'm not one of those people like, like I said, there's not a big 51-year-old contingent at the roller rink. But I'm not one of those people that lets that like get people like, oh, I can't wear heels at my age. Oh, yeah, you can just put them on.
Mhm.
I can't roller skate. Yeah, you can put on the roller skates. It's fine. I don't skate backwards right now. I'm working on my turns, but I don't skate backwards right now, but I'll get to it. But I feel really good and strong and healthy. And God, yeah. The 30s were like, oh gosh, I'm supposed to be grown up now. What am I supposed to do? That was such a stupid decade. And then
Mhm.
the 40s, I was like, hey, I kind of been feeling like I don't fucking care anymore. And then you
Mhm.
hit 50s and you're like, God, life is great. Life
Yep.
is amazing. Life is great. I don't care anymore. I'm just out here doing the damn thing. Um, and like as far as like mortality, like I'm not a Christian, so I think that your energy stays. I don't know where it goes, but I think your energy stays. So, I want to be here as long as I can. I got lots of shit I still want to do. I'm not
Mhm.
skating backwards right now.
Yep.
So I've got lots of stuff I want to do, but I'm not inhibited. Like I'm starting to see people in my age range like, oh, I can't do that at my age. Why not?
Mm.
Do it.
Right.
Go do it.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of hobbies. I'm always looking for a new hobby. Right now I'm into gardening because it's that time of year and I'm doing my garden and I'm canning and I'm going picking strawberries and I'm picking blueberries and I'm making jam. And so I'm always just like, what can I do today? What can I
Mhm.
do today? Today's going to be another great day. So, yeah, I feel like in some respects, Amy, I feel like we're in the prime of our lives
We are. And neither one
right
of us
now.
shy away when people ask, sometimes it's like taboo to ask a woman how old she is. Neither Shelley nor I, we have both been the same. Like, yeah, I'm 51, I'm 52,
51
like,
and
yeah,
fabulous.
like, because I'm proud of where I've come from
Yeah.
so far and still going. And I feel great too.
But I've had really great role models too. Yeah, I've had really great role models. So there's some people like that I met 20 years ago who were old then. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm your age now. God, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
some people just embody that's their vibe. Like that's not
Mhm.
my vibe, right? My vibe is Doc Martens and skulls and
Mhm.
whatever. So I think it's just, I think in a lot of ways, it's, your mental state is going to drive where you are.
Yeah.
First of all, 50s look good on both of you.
These are awesome. Now, I would take a little less of the peeing when I sneeze, but that's another issue. You'll find out after you have your baby, Polo. You'll find out after you have a baby.
That sounds great. I
I
am
was
highly.
lucky enough to have C-sections for all mine, so I don't have quite that issue, but that is a thing.
Do your Kegels, lady. A hundred a day, ladies. Do your
Yep.
Kegels.
Kegels.
I'm doing them right now.
Same.
Anyway, from that lens of feeling good and feeling your energetic spirit, not necessarily your chronology, but incorporated, what would you tell your little child self? Like maybe preteens and then teens. What advice would you give them?
It gets so much better.
Yeah, that's a good one. It does
It
get
gets
so
so
much
much
better.
better.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh,
I don't know if I'd add to that. That's a really good one.
love that. That
Mhm.
is just so comforting and so something that we all can say to our inner child whenever we feel her freaking out a little bit and being
Mhm.
like, and getting protective and getting scared. Like,
Mhm.
it's so much better right now. I got you. The adult
Mhm.
self, I have you. You
Yep.
know, you are
Yep.
safe and
But
protected.
the funny thing for me is though you say that COVID, God, Polo. I'm thinking about COVID is the reason I'm talking about this. I remember in like the COVID years and like being with my kids and like they're, having to do their homework and they're doing this. And I thought, am I in charge of all these people? I'm a mom. Like I'm the adult here. Like when you're adulting,
Yeah.
24 hours a day when everyone's locked in the same house. I have the best advice here. Oh
Mhm.
God. It's me. Or when I have to call into my kids' school if they're sick, it's like, God, I sound like a mom.
Wait, I am. Oh, dang
Like
it.
I don't know why during that period it just really hit me like, God, I'm really the one making all the decisions in here. Oh my gosh, that should scare the shit out of everyone right now.
Oh, welcome to my world. Just
Oh.
for myself.
Mhm.
Alone. Any other
Oh,
life form.
I mean, do you ever feel that, Amy? Like, what?
yes.
God, I sound like a
Yes.
mom.
I need to.
Oh,
Why
AF.
are you coming to me right now? Why do I have to be the one to answer this question? Damn it. That's why.
Go ask your father.
Seriously.
Yes, ask somebody else. Why do I have to do it? Oh yeah, I
Right.
signed up for that.
Oh God, yeah, I am the one. Okay.
I
Okay.
am. Mhm.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. Thank you
Yeah.
all for that, for the love of God. Oh my God. Okay, so given all of that, if you had 1 week left on this planet, what would you do?
Oh my.
Oh, she can't. Oh yeah, look at her. She's like,
Oh.
I don't even know. I've
She's
got
like,
all these
let me
things.
get my list.
Yeah.
I would do everything. I would go run a race. I would go skating. I would do an escape room with my kids. I would have like Uno night where we drew 100 as one of the cards. I would hang out with my friend. I would have a lot of wine. I would everything that I want to do all the time, I would just cram it in. Like
Hmm.
time with my friends, time with my family, games. I could get my kids to go roller skating with me. Like I would do it all.
Yeah, I would have everybody here. Everybody here, like all of my kids, grandkids, all of my parents that are still around, like everybody, all of the important ones that I would want to say one more thing to. I would have them all just like here. And then we just sleep wherever we fell, in this house. I wouldn't care about anything else as far as like how things looked or anything. It would be like we stay up late, we drink, those that can, we drink wine. Or if they
And
can't,
those
I'm
that can.
not here at this point. I've only got a week left. Whatever, drink whatever you want. Yeah, we'd play games, we'd watch movies, we'd go travel somewhere for a day or two. Like we would just do whatever the fuck we wanted to do and
Yeah.
be all together at the same time and just share all the things, like
Yeah.
all of it. Love you, hate you. This is what I didn't like about you, but I love you now. Let's go play a game. Let's go have a glass of wine. Let's, like all of the things, just have the people around, the friends and the important people, the family, and have fun.
Yeah.
Every time I get the opportunity to ask this question, it always bubbles up for me. Like, why don't we take a weekend, a day, a month, a weekend, a year, and do that?
Hmm.
Why don't we just do that? And like
Hmm.
put it in the container, like we're all gathering together. Whatever is left unsaid, let's do it now through the lens of
Mhm.
unconditional love. Like, let's just get it out. Life is short. Life is so
Hmm.
short.
I would say in
Hmm.
the summertime, I do that a little bit more than I do any other time because we have a small cottage on a lake. And so we have people up whenever they want to come up. It's like an open invitation. And so we typically have a lot of people there at one time, family, friends, and we do end up sleeping where we fall. And that I wouldn't necessarily say we always have the conversation of like, this is what you did that pissed me off, but I love you anyway. But it was just more like feeling free and light and having a good time and enjoying each other's company in that spirit, like that lightness and that companionship is there more. And we try to do it more often off season too. Like we do one-on-ones with all of our kids, including our son-in-law. So he's one of them. So because there's 5 total now with the son-in-law, we do the boys 1 month, we do the girls 1 month, so like we try to have that individual time with our kids, especially as they are in varying ages and stages, to just enjoy each other's company and have that space and that relationship build. So our parents that are still around are asking for us to do that with them as well.
It's going to
So
be every day you're going to have
yeah,
a
doing
one-on-one
something. But it's
Family time.
back in the spirit of the relationship of, being together and just enjoying every moment.
Hmm.
I love that. I
Mhm.
feel like, and I feel like Shelley, you do this just with all of the pursuits that you do because if you want to do something, you do it, which is just
Hmm.
like
Mhm.
so
100%.
exciting, right?
Mhm.
Why not take one day a week, one day a month, and have a yes day? Like, what do you want to do? Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
the whole, if you had a week to live, if you had
Yeah.
this life to live,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
anything can happen. I love that.
Yep.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
me too. We always end our podcast with a heart seat round of questions. This is a hot seat for the heart. So, whatever bubbles up, feel free to spew. And you both can go one at a time or whatever bubbles up in any way that's perfect for you. Are you ready?
Ready.
The first question is, what does soulgasm mean to you?
Mm.
Ooh, to me, it means feeling
Yeah.
really good in your body and loving life.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun from the gut up.
Ooh, I love that.
Mhm.
Ah. What would you say is your core code? Top 3 personal values.
Uh,
Honesty,
uh-huh.
you go
Authenticity,
in. I would say loyalty,
freedom,
um, integrity.
Yeah, I'll go integrity as well.
Honesty,
That's a good one.
loyalty, integrity,
Authenticity,
authenticity,
freedom.
freedom, integrity.
Hmm.
Ooh, those are good. Ooh.
Hmm.
What daily routines do you have that are non-negotiable?
Mine's so easy. Mine is so easy. People laugh. They're like, "You do that every day?" And I'm like, 100% every day. So I get up in the morning. We have a home gym. We're fortunate to work out. And then when I come up to my room, I go straight down to the gym, come up to my room. I turn on my 528 hertz music. I shower by candlelight. The candle's not in the shower, it's outside of the shower. I have
Duly
a shower steamer, and it's just my morning, like my zen when I'm getting ready. I listen to a book. So I've done my movement, I've done my meditation, I've done my self-care routine so that when I come out of my door, now I'm committed to whatever comes my way during the day.
Waking up early is another big one for me. And I say that with a caveat of if I also need more sleep, like I did this morning, I will sleep a little bit longer if I need it. But waking up early has been, and by early I mean like 4 or 4:15 a.m. during the week. And even, it's still early on the weekends as well, but earlier than anybody else. I like to get up early and have the time to myself, the quiet time, the space. I don't turn on any meditation music at that point, but it's making the coffee, it's sitting down with my journal, it's sitting down with my book, it's meditating. To me, for me, that's sometimes it's the tapping part is the meditation piece, and then being able to write after that with whatever comes through. So and I do a workout as well most days of the week, but it's morning setting intention and time with myself so that, as Shelley mentioned, I can give to others from a healthy space.
love that. When you feel out of alignment, when you feel off kilter, what brings you back to center?
Hmm.
I have to get back to my goal. Like I write daily or I write weekly to-do lists and goals. I plan
What?
everything.
That's shocking.
I know, shocking. I plan my workouts a week in advance. I plan my meals a week in advance. I have my personal to-do list. And so if I'm feeling off kilter, it's like, have you gotten your journal today? What did you commit to do this week? And then I can get myself kind of back into I'm a very routine-based person.
Sundays are my planning day, so I'll get out the calendar for the week which includes myself and everybody else, to write down what's coming up. So planning on what needs to be done throughout the week, setting, tasks, to-dos. For the summer, I set monthly goals for both personal and home, and then business, professional. So yeah, I can refer back to that, but it's also reaching out because, as I mentioned before, that's not always easy for me to do. So reaching out to talk to somebody and say where I'm at, and maybe not even just say where I'm at, just like reaching out and having an honest conversation with somebody I trust sometimes is enough to just bring me back. It doesn't even have to be like, hey, I'm going through some shit, or what do the shit that maybe they're going through. It just could be an honest conversation with another human being that I love and trust.
Love that. So, what do you consider your purpose, your mission in life?
I think for me, and I believe we're similar, but it's sharing my journey and empowering others. So supporting, empowering, inspiring other women by sharing my journey and the tools that I've learned. And by other women, I mean, even like I said, my daughters, my granddaughter, and just showing that it's never too late, but it's supporting and inspiring and empowering.
Yeah, I would definitely say mine is loving hard, um, living hard, or it's easy. I don't know. Living fun, having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to live life out loud. I want to love the people that I love hard, and I want to help empower people so they can be the best, most authentic version of themselves they can be. because it's
Mm.
beautiful.
Oh, I love it. So my last question is, what do very few people, if anyone, know about you both
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I've
that
been
you want
thinking
to
about
share?
this one. I've been thinking about this. This is so funny because I'm trying to find a way to connect it in like one of my talks I give. I am very, very focused on the last bite when I eat. So when I get a meal, I'm looking at the plate and I'm thinking, which is the last bite? Because I want that to be the most perfect memory that I have. So that is I'm last bite. I'm looking at the big picture of my food and determining how I want it to end.
That is the most fascinating metaphor I have ever heard in my life. From somebody who is routine oriented, a dog with a bone, a
Yeah.
chief strategist, and a master organizer and strategist. Like that is possibly the most beautiful metaphor I've ever heard in my life.
I can't top that. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know like how to even come up with something that might match that. I don't know.
See, that's the beauty. This is why your podcast is so brilliant because you are both radically different, but you are similar in such beautiful symbiotic ways. Like it's brilliant how you can play off of one another. And by the way, we'll put your wild hair show note in the show notes and all of your information in the show notes for our beautiful audience to get
Awesome.
a taste of your brilliant podcast. And that's the thing. Everything is
Oh, God.
everything is so unique to each one of us. Like how beautiful. You can say anything.
I did. Okay, I'll just say that it was probably a lame one that I did in our podcast when we were doing our intro, but it was like, I like a lot of different music. One of my favorite singers is Bob Seger, and I do like country. But something that would probably surprise some people is that I also like Metallica. And so like you wouldn't know that to maybe look at me. You might know it to look at Shelley because she wears all black and she does skulls, but you might not look at me and think that. So that was like the one that I came up with when we were doing our little intro for the podcast. So I guess I'll just share that one now because I can't share anything that would match the last bite analogy. I just can't come up with anything.
You are a headbanger to the core, Amy Mollitor. I am so excited to know that.
Oh God. That was awesome.
Is there anything else that you would like to leave our audience with before we sign off for the day?
I just want to say thank you so much, Polo. You are a light in this world, and I appreciate you asking me to be on. Amy and I, we connected yesterday and talked about just how excited we were. So for me, I just really, really appreciate it.
I love you are a very authentic person as well. And I do love that about you. And you do also live out loud and take every moment. And you have been very honest about your personal journey and your struggles and why you do live that way. And I have always appreciated that about you. Your spirit is so magnetic and just amazing. And I just love watching your journey as well. And I'm so grateful that we have crossed paths. So grateful that we have and when in the way that we did and the way that it's continued. And yes, thank you for having me on as well. It's just been so fun.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry. I truly Shelley, if your passion is life, you absolutely live it to the fullest at exponential rates. And Amy, if your passion is empowering women, you do it with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. And I am so utterly fortunate and honored. You're going to make me cry to have such beautiful, strong, multifaceted, multidimensional, soft, and beautiful women like you two in my life. And every time I think about you far more than we actually speak on the phone or text or in podcasts like this, but just know that I love you both dearly. And
love you
Love
too.
you too.
Yeah.
I admire you, and I can't wait to play more in this beautiful thing called life, because one day out of the month, let's have a yes day whenever I'm in town. And let's just go.
Yeah. Be
Thank
awesome.
you so much for coming
Thank you.
on to Soulgasm. Love you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everything is welcome here. And if
Okay.
you are open to it, I would love to just get really real and really raw
Mhm.
and really honest and open and talk about all of our fuck ups or something that's most poignant, how we got through it, what we were feeling at the time. Like this whole obviously thing is about transformation. So
Mhm.
all
Yep. Well,
language is welcome, all ideas are welcome, any stories are welcome. You just do you.
Dancing.
dancing.
Is dancing welcome?
Yeah. Are you walking? You're not walking right now, Shelley?
I decided not to walk on this one. I said I'll just dance. I have a treadmill under my desk, so usually I walk all day. But I just scooted it over for this so that I wasn't distracting. So I'm just standing now.
Mm-hmm.
I have always wanted a treadmill under my desk. I
Love
will
it.
have one at some point.
I love it. I love it. I have it at the office and here. I gave up my chair like in January or February, and I've never looked back.
Yes.
Mhm.
Also, you've never looked
Love
back
it.
because if you do, you may fall off of it. So,
Right.
I would absolutely fall off my treadmill if I looked back. So
Yeah.
okay, are you guys ready to begin?
ready,
Ready.
ready.
Ready to be real.
Yes, love it.
I got real shit too. Shelley and I were just talking yesterday. I got real shit to share too.
Yes, real shit is welcome here. Let's do
Okay.
it.
Love
Let's
it.
work it out.
Love it.